Okay, thanks very much, Tanis. Welcome all to our webinar. We're honored to be an elite vendor with Ballpex. And before I forget, I just want to thank once again all the people in this meeting for the award that we received last September at the summit. We've tickled pink about receiving that award. So thanks again for the award. On last year's webinar, we talked about supply chain and challenges. And this year's webinar, we want to do for people that may not have been on last year's, we want to do a brief introduction of who 511 are. We'll keep that short. Who our sales force are. Kenny will go through that for you. And we also want to then go into and try to talk about the ever evolving packaging industry with all the bans that are going up, whether it's federal, provincial, regional, city. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for the distributors. It's a challenge for us to keep it straight. And we want to help you try to make things easier for you to navigate through and show you some product lines that we are selling, having success with, and let you know what we're kind of seeing going forward and what could be the next thing down the road. Okay, so first of all, we 511 Food Service has been in business for over 25 years. We have quality customer service, and the one thing about 511 is our customization. Um, we we can develop products, we can work with end users, we can work with distributors on developing interesting and new products that they may have interest in, or that they feel there is a niche in their market for that type of product, whether it's an ethnic product or whether it's something that is totally different. We can do it. We have distribution facilities. Our main office is in Milton, Ontario, with our warehouse that services Eastern Canada from Ontario East. And then we have a Calgary DC that does Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And then in just outside of Vancouver, we have a BC facility that does British Columbia. On this slide, I wanted to share with you, you can see the pictures there. The top picture is all of our staff in Milton. This was taken around Christmas time last year. And wanted to share it so you see the people involved with 511, the people that are processing your orders, the people that are there to answer your questions if needed, etc. And then I also wanted to show this is our Shenzhen office in Shenzhen, China. Those are the boots on the ground that we have in China that deal with our 75 plus vendors. Going back to last year's supply chain issues, these people handle quality concerns. They're doing audits of facilities to make sure that everything is up to our standards of 511. So the team has been growing. As you can see, there's probably just about as many people in Shenzhen, not quite as there are in Milton. And they are, I call it the boots on the ground. Who is 511? Like I said, we've been around for 25 years. We are currently under the umbrella of Amercare Royal Companies. Amercare was a glove company and Royal Paper was a disposable company, very similar to what 511 is today. They were the original that came up, that developed the name Amercare Royal. You'll see 511 Food Service on there. We also own a company called Primeware, which is our compostable BPI environmentally friendly products, which we have integrated those products into the 511 mix. You'll also see someone that may be familiar to you, McNairn Packaging. They are under our umbrella as well, or under the Amercare Royal Company umbrella. And then we also have a company called Ocala Group, mainly stateside. They do direct container business. There's company Ross and Wallace. They do paper bags. They're located in Louisiana. Unfortunately, the freight to bring anything up to Canada makes it difficult to be competitive up here. And then we have a company called Team 3 Group. They're very similar to what 511 are. They are a direct importer with offices. Their offices are in Taiwan. And they kind of reach out to some other vendors that us as 511 previously had not had any experience with. So they're expanding our vendor base and making it possible to get into other product lines. And then there's a company on here that you don't see. It's called TTM. They're thermal source tooling and manufacturing company out of California. They were just recently purchased, and they will eventually be integrated into the group of companies. As of right now, we're just in the development stage. Hopefully, by the third or fourth quarter of this year, we will have some more information to do with TTM. They specialize in doing a lot of specialty, small run, unique products. They develop it from the tooling stage all the way through, so product development, etc. I'm going to now turn it over to Kenny Bruce. Ken, you can talk about the coverage of the brokers across Canada.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Route 88 is the King of Cups and the Gentlemen of the West, Barry Middleton's group, with Blair Wankling, Mike Battle, Cam Muirhead, and Barry himself. So they cover basically anything west of Ontario for us. Do a wonderful job. Have been with us for good 15 plus 20 years. In Ontario, we have the dynamic duo of Chris Lentine, Marty Morelli, and their guys, Janine, Darrell, Lindsay, Elisa, and George, covering all of Ontario. And then in Quebec, in the Belle Provence, we have I guess the team leader on the tactic team is really, I want to give a shout out to Francois Marion. He's really our go-to guy and helps manage the rest of the team. Andre and Marcel are, of course, the owners. And then, Jean Bourgon, Marie Châtel, Alex. There's some great folk there at Tactic that are ready to help you guys at any minute. Even during the holiday, which I found out yesterday. And then in Eastern Canada, of course, we have the legacy of Kevin Jones, who took the business over from his father, Kent. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful gentleman who is happy to help with anybody's needs. So that's kind of the coverage across Canada. There's another slide there, Paul. I think it just shows the country how it's broken up. But yeah, Kevin B&K, he handles Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, PEI. All the east. Okay.
Yeah, the one thing we wanted to stress as we move on is, because we're going to now get into the gist of our presentation, the ever evolving packaging, is, I mean, you guys have probably heard it 1,000 times. There's the federal SUP bans. There's provincial bans, namely British Columbia with their "you have to ask" attitude. And then there's municipal bans. The municipal bans seem to be growing. The brokers are your source for these bans. We try to keep up to stuff with them as to what's going on. We're trying to stay ahead of it as much as possible, but there can be difficulties trying to keep up with everything that's going on. So, I mean, if you have any questions, reach out to your brokers or reach out to Ken and I. We will get you the answers as to whether this widget is now banned in wherever it might be. Okay.
Basically, sorry, Paul. The broker has the local knowledge, the local insight when it comes to the minor parts of the sub ban.
Yeah. So just moving on, I mean, single-use cutlery, as most of you are probably aware, any cutlery that was black, any cutlery that was polystyrene, has been banned. Polypropylene is allowed as long as it passes that federal 100 dishwasher cycle. We have had our products tested, and we do have quite a good mix. We have, a standard medium weight polypropylene cutlery that passed the testing. We brought in a heavyweight polypropylene as a substitute as well, if they want something better that would replace what would have been a heavier weight polystyrene. Instead of the cheap and cheerful, this is the next step up. We have that available in bulk pack and also individually wrapped. coming out of COVID, there's been a large demand for individually wrapped cutlery instead of just leaving everything out there exposed on a counter. So we've seen some shifts to that. You guys will have access to this PowerPoint presentation, and you will if you just click on any of these brochures you see, you don't have to squint at them. It'll take you to the website, and you can see these catalogs that are all on our website. So we are still seeing a high demand for polypropylene cutlery that passes the dishwasher test. It was interesting the end of last year, the third, fourth quarter, the amount of healthcare accounts that reached out to 511, saying that, do you still have polypropylene cutlery? Because we don't like wood as an option. We don't like what's out there as options. So we still get a lot of healthcare that are wanting the polypropylene. Now, some healthcare accounts have switched and they're doing, they're now doing dishwasher of regular stainless steel cutlery. But when you get into the isolation in different areas of the hospitals or homes, they want disposables, and the polypropylene cutlery is there as an option. Now, as I mentioned, we do have a full line of the wood. Whether it be bulk pack this is all birch, bulk pack, fork, spoon, knife. We also do a individually paper wrapped product of each SKU, individually wrapped fork, individually wrapped knife, individually wrapped spoon. And then we have some meal kits. Basically what you're looking at is the meal kit is either a fork, knife, and napkin, individually wrapped in paper, or it is a knife, fork, and spoon, no napkin, individually wrapped in paper. And we're going to get to another slide, and I'll show you what the kit looks like. So we do have the wood cutlery available as an option still, doing well. There's certain areas, where if you're out in BC, really the only options you have that I'm aware of is you've got a wood cutlery, you have a molded fiber cutlery, or there's a paper cutlery that's out there. And if you're doing any kind of disposable cutlery, those are the only options. The polypropylene that I talked about in the previous slide, you're not allowed any plastic in BC. New lineup that just arrived back in the end of February, early March. We do have the molded fiber cutlery available in a fork, a spoon, and a knife. They can come individually wrapped. We haven't brought it in yet. We're still trying to gauge the market for the reception of the molded fiber. There's some people that like it. There's some people that prefer wood over it. The price point of the molded fiber is higher than wood. So when people are kind of choosing between one or the other, they seem to go with the wood over the molded fiber, but there are people that want it. And then to let you know, we are still in the straw business. As far as the federal single-use plastic ban goes, we had some of our straws tested. Black straws are gone. Anything that is not that was not made of polypropylene are gone. But we do have polypropylene straws that pass the ban. And again, this is an item that is very popular still in healthcare. We do have the flex straws available because that's the one exception that they had stated in the single-use plastic ban that would be approved. But we have a variety of plastic straws available, individually wrapped or bulk. That would be available for you to buy without any problem. They're stocked now. Product has come in, and we're good to go on that. We also have the full lineup of paper straws. As an example, again, I'll bring up BC because anything that's plastic has been banned. So the plastic straws are no longer allowed in BC. And I know there's some municipalities as well where they wouldn't pass. And then I was mentioning the cutlery kits. We do have a separate POS where we do show the where we do show the polypropylene meal kits that we have available. And we also show the wood meal kits that we have available. The wood meal kits, as you can see with the paper one right above the word pack there, you get drawings of what's in the meal kit. In this case, on the picture, you see the knife, fork, and spoon. If it's the other meal kit that we have in wood, you would see the knife, fork, and then a little design of a napkin that would be there. Kenny's going to now take us into the no intentionally added PFAS product. It's a trend that we're seeing. A lot of the bigger national accounts are requiring it. And Ken will talk about it and explain what
Sure.
exactly it is.
Yeah. Okay. Paul, I think I mean the general premise of this slide is the fact that it is it is coming. We are seeing it arrive. Um, it's not mandated federally right now, but on items like the gas hinge or the gas plates, that sort of thing, we're getting major food service distributors asking us if we're ready to go, if we're going to switch and or transition to a non-intentionally added PFAS. So basically, yeah, we're looking at right now. We brought it. We actually are stocking in right now a couple sizes of plates, 6-inch and 9-inch, and then we also have hinge lid, the hinge lid, like the 6-inch clam, 8-inch clam, 9-inch clam, 6x9, and then both 3 compartments on 8-inch and 9-inch. I think one of the things to think about when you're switching to PFAS free or non-intentionally added PFAS is the fact that is it going to perform the same way as our good old bagasse or Hypax regular bagasse? And the answer is it's a slightly different product. It's not the exact same product. It may not be as grease resistant and or as rigid of a container. We've noticed that it's just a slight bit softer and it doesn't perform the same way for grease staining and that sort of thing. But is it good enough? Absolutely. We've done lots of tests and we're moving forward with it. So watch for it. It's coming soon to you. That's it, Paul.
Okay, next slide.
Yeah, beautiful.
We added, yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Go ahead. We added a 30-ounce bagasse bowl. Some of you may be familiar or have used our Primeware 32-ounce bagasse bowl. It's a fairly large bowl, and the only lid that we have with it is a dome lid. So once a lot of end users were saying that you got to put a lot of product in it to fill it up, and the way food costs have gone through the roof, it's now very expensive to do a bowl and offer a bowl that size with that much product in it. So we have developed a 30-ounce bowl, which I'll call just a squat bowl, a little bit shallower than the existing 32. The lids are not interchangeable, but they are very close in diameter. So it's very difficult to see the difference, to notice the difference without having them side by side. And the lid that we developed for this 30-ounce is a flat lid, PET flat lid, fully recyclable. So you don't have to fill up the container. You don't have that, the arc on the top where they're putting more product in to make the container look full. So the actual capacity on this, you'll see the line on the brochure there, that's 28 ounces. So you can get away with that without having to put as much product in the bowls as you would our 32-ounce. And we do have the ability we can look at getting smaller sizes, 24 ounce, 16 ounces. So if you have someone interested, you can always inquire with either Ken or I directly or your broker. If the volume's significant enough, we will bring in the product. Okay, we will develop it and bring it in. Because there is a downshift. The way food costs are going these days, people are doing everything smaller. So you probably see demand for that. And then our last category, and this is newer for us, we're venturing, and this comes about because of the Team 3 relationship. They had a vendor that they use who do massive business in napkins. So we're expanding our napkin line. We have both a black napkin available in a 2-ply 8-fold dinner and a 2-ply beverage napkin. It's our understanding that a lot of the domestic manufacturers of napkins have gotten out of black. We're seeing some very good growth in black. We're told that domestically there's a lot of shorts going on in black, or like I said, people are totally out of the black. So we do have that available. And we have also developed a 2-ply 8-fold white dinner napkin, 3,000 pack that we're bringing in, or that we have. It's here. And we're looking to further develop that line and expand it into a luncheon napkin and also a 1-ply 8-fold dinner napkin instead of the 2-ply that we have. So we're looking to expand on the napkin size. We're trying to find these niche markets where we can grow, where we can fill a void for the distributors, where there has been some exiting of domestic production, and we can then get the product for you. Okay. And then that is it. Merci beaucoup. I want to thank everyone for attending this webinar. One things I want to emphasize is the brokers, use them. They're your regional knowledge on anything bans and any future packaging. As far as customization goes, we will develop products. If there's an item that you see that's missing in our mix, bring it to the attention of Ken or I or the brokers, and we will look into it, trying to expand the total offering of 511 to grow your sales and our sales. And then last but not least, I think, Jean, did you want to say a couple words?
Nope. Muted. Okay.
You can't hear you, Jean. Can't hear you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jean sends her love.
Yeah, and thank you for your business is a big part of it too, I bet.
Yeah. Thank you to both of you. I think there's a couple questions. Bree, was there any in the chat?
Yes, there was. So the first question is, what is your Aeroplan promotion for the month of April?
Okay, so the Aeroplan promotion for the month of April, it actually goes back to January 1. It's not just the month of April. It is on any new listings, any products that you see here that you may bring in or you may have already brought in. For the first 100 SKUs or 100 items that we get from the mix of distributors, we will give 1,000 points. And what you need to do is send the proof to me with the item code or actual copy of the PO if you want with it. And then we will just verify that it hadn't been bought prior to January 1, 2024. And then we'll award the points. And like I said, that was up to 100 different items, 1,000 points each. Okay. Any questions on that? Is that fairly self-explanatory?
I think
so. If there are any, we'll pass them along if there are any questions.
Okay.
We also have, with the provincial bans, do you see other provinces making the same decisions as BC?
It's actually been quiet. I mean, Toronto came about with a similar, I'm not going to call it similar, but they won't just give the single-use plastic item to the people. You have to ask. Like the gist of the BC ban was if someone orders a meal for takeout, you just cannot throw cutlery or condiments or napkins in a bag. The person has to request it, or you put it out on the side where it's available for the person and they can then choose it. And Toronto has kind of gone to something similar to that, not as extensive as far as items go, but you have to ask. So that's the latest development we've seen. I'm not sure. We haven't heard any more grumblings on a province doing what BC did or to that extent. Everyone else seems to be following the federal SUP ban unless they put in a municipal or a regional bylaw.
I have a question. Do you have any documentation that the distributors can send to their customers to advise that your plastic straws, for example, pass the test? I'm not sure if everyone was aware of the plastic straws passing at 511. So is there anything that, you know, we can send them on your behalf, or you can send them?
Well, what we like to do is there's a whole list of items that are on there. You know, it crosses a broad range of products. If someone has a question and there's 4 straws, send us the 4 straw SKUs. If they are, which they will be, they're on the band, we will put something on letterhead stating that those 4 SKUs pass the 100 dishwasher test. And you'll see on the POS, on the actual POS, it was hard to see on there. We do make the statement when you see polypropylene, or you see polypropylene cutlery, or you see the polypropylene straws, that they did test and they did pass.
Okay.
I guess it's if someone needs something more than that,
Mhm.
then we would.
Okay. Were there any other questions that anybody had while we have the team? No?
That's it
Okay.
from the chat.
Okay, well, I just wanted to, you know, on behalf of everyone, thank you, Ken and Paul and Jean, for again your participation as an elite vendor for April. I do just want to address to the group here that there is still time to book your sales meetings. So if you haven't, please do so. I'm sure that the 511 team is ready to book any meetings. So please do so if you haven't already. Other than that, thank you everybody for your time today. And if there's any questions or anything after this, please feel free to direct them to 511 or us, and we would be happy to get you some answers. So thank you everyone, and have a great rest of your day.